This is a brand new Marin Nicasio Plus. Stay tuned if you want to find out how much it weighs, what it's good for, and what things we can change on it to make it a better all-round bike. First things first, let's see how much this thing actually weighs, not how much the manufacturers tell us it weighs. 13.32 kilograms, with it exactly as it comes from the shop, including pedals, reflectors, all that kind of a thing. We've even got the idiot disc thing. Oh, and a bell. So this bike, at the moment, 13.32 kilograms for a 58 centimetre bike. First thing I'm going to do to save weight and make this bike look better is remove all the reflectors. If I'm running reflectors on a bike, I'm going to run stick-on reflectors, like stickers basically. They'll reflect the same amount of light and they won't look ugly. There's so many different ways that these little reflectors get put together. These ones happen to be the ones where you pop out this little plug. The other thing I've done is taking the bell off the bike. I always take bells off my bike because I don't like ringing them. I feel it's a bit kind of impersonal and rude to ring your bell when you can just say excuse me or hello to someone. That's my take on the debate anyway. Fuck bells. Something pretty useful on this bike is the seat post is relatively long. You've got basically, on a 58 centimetre bike, the seat post has 31 centimetres of length, so there's a good bit to cut off and save some weight if you want to, or if you're real tall, you're going to be able to put it up quite high. I should say it's a 27.2 seat post. If you did decide you wanted to run a dropper post on this bike, you can get 27.2 droppers, so it's another option you've got available to you, making it more versatile. Next thing I'm going to do to this bike is pop off this idiot disc. This microshift rear mech has a clutch on it. That means, in simple terms, your chain's not going to flap around quite so much on rough terrain as it would if you had no clutch in your rear mech. So it's a good thing to have. Taking off this annoying idiot disc is much easier if you've got a cassette tool and a chain whip. If you don't have these tools, just rip it off with the pair of pliers and some scissors or something that cuts. Just try not to chop your hand up. Now I thought this 1146 microshift cassette, 9-speed it is, would be actually really heavy. I mean, it's not a light cassette, but it's a lot lighter than I was kind of expecting it to be, so it's not an urgent replace. And the wheel is not mega light. I'll give it away in a second. The rear wheel with the disc on it and with no cassette is 2.16 kilograms. That's tyre, disc, no cassette. I've added a tiny little bit of grease to this cassette and I'm just going to stick it back on. One thing about this is the cassette does feel unusually wobbly. I'm pretty sure I haven't left anything off here. It just has a reasonable bit of wobble on it. And by wobble I mean play. So here's the first potential issue I found with the bike. 0.5 mil or something of movement up and down. Normally on a cassette you would feel almost nothing moving at all. Definitely not a notchy kind of a movement like that. That's not how it should go. And it's already pretty tight. I don't think tightening it any further is going to get rid of that movement. I'll give it a go anyway. Hopefully not wreck it. Nah, that's already tight enough. Oh well. Definitely still playing the cassette, and if I tighten this anymore it's going to wreck it. If you're spinning your wheels and you're getting some funny noises, these little rubber nipple-y, mold liney type things actually hit on the bottom of the frame here and make an annoying funny little noise. Just in case you hear some funny noises, you want to work out what they are. With the reflectors and the bell and all that kind of stuff taken off the bike, We're now at 13.13 kilograms. Here's what the bike weighs with some reasonably priced Shimano pedals. Next thing we're going to add to make the bike more versatile is a pannier rack. Now, this bike has braze-ons for pannier racks, so I don't have to find any unusual little brackets or anything, and this is an XLC pannier rack that I'm adding. It's important to Loctite the bolts on a pannier rack because when they come loose in the middle of nowhere, it's really annoying, especially if they rattle off and fall into the bushes. So I've stuck some Loctite into the thread holes. I haven't pre-measured any of this, so I don't actually know how many little washers and spacers I'm going to need, or anything else. So for this little XLC bike rack, it's got some funny shaped stays that go between the rack and your seat post. And because of the shape of them, I can only fit one, but one of them seems to be pretty solid. So I'm just going to chuck one of them on and that should hold the pannier rack solid. Now we're 13.75 kilograms with a pannier rack, pedals, reflectors and stuff all taken off. Pretty much ready to go now, apart from sticking some bags on it and some bottle cages and bottles. Here's how the bike looks at the moment. Well, most of the bike. Do you want to say hello, Rosie?
Hello.
I just trimmed the end of that rack off there so that it doesn't have an extra bit of metal sticking out for no reason. We're back from the first ride in the Marin Nicasio Plus. It performed really well. The tyres had a reasonable amount of grip, more than I expected on some of the wetter, kind of muddier, gravelier sections. The front brake bedded in perfect and now it's working good. The back brake's not too bad, maybe it's the length of the cables or whatever, but it doesn't seem as nice as the front one. In fact, I've still even got these little plastic covers on. I'll pop them off. But the bike worked perfect. Everything stayed solid, only running one stay on the rack. The gear range was totally fine. I didn't really notice too much of a problem with the gaps between the gears, it wasn't too bad. All I've got to do is add a couple of bottle cages and some bottles, and the bike's going to be working perfect and ready for the trip. So I'm pretty pleased with this bike. It's handled the off-road sections well, and it's handled the roady, gravelly sections really well too. Pretty good bike for touring. Going to be a good bike to be able to use for some sort of light off-road work on cross-country, kind of easy cross-country. We're not talking World Cup cross-country trails. The tyres have performed pretty well. At some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to try running these Max as shorties. I just have to get the converters for the Hope hubs on the other wheels that I've got, the other 650Bs. So I'll try these and see if they can get them to fit through the forks and through the chainstay. I'm not entirely confident that I'll fit them through the chainstay, but we'll see. Check back to see the rest of the journey on this bike, including the actual journey to Scotland for a wee bit of bike packing. Catch you all in the next video.